some Superman legacy news, some pretty big Superman news. Last week, I think we had already announced, or was it the week before that we announced that David Cornswet and Rachel Brosnahan?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Right. But this week, let me pull up the list of castings. It's quite extensive.
I have it here.
Sure, go for it.
So we're going to have Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. We're going to have Isabel Merced as Hawkgirl, and Eddie Gathegi as, sorry if I butchered that, as Mr. Terrific. And my personal favorite, which is Anthony Kerrigan as Metamorpho. Now,
have we seen that actor before?
I have.
Oh, and what?
Barry.
Oh, okay.
He is NoHo Hank in Barry.
Right.
He is fantastic. I can't wait for Ian to start watching Barry because he's so good. Yeah. He's amazing.
That's great. Do you like the character too, or
Metamorpho? Okay, so
I don't know the character.
I will preface, the only two that I have any amount of knowledge about is Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. So we can talk about them if you want. Like, we can start with Nathan Fillion. I think that's a great choice as Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
Guy Gardner is traditionally a bit of a dick as a Green Lantern. He's gonna have a bowl cut, just like the comics apparently, says James Gunn.
Now I saw some backlash. And I think it's slightly valid. And I think, like, you know, basically this big Green Lantern fan, Guy Gardner fan, was like, we just watched this extensive process of him detailing how he picked Superman for like 6 months, and then like we get the most random choice of an actor for Guy Gardner, and I was like,
oh, come on.
Okay, for me it's like,
did you not see Nathan Fillion in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? He can play a dick character so well. He was great in that role. Sure. And I have no doubt that Nathan Fillion's going to kill it as Guy Gardner.
Yes, he's not stereotypically what Guy Gardner looks like. He's like 20 years older than like what Guy Gardner usually is. And I think that's like, if you're a Guy Gardner fan, like, yeah, I would probably be upset if that's like my favorite character.
Okay, sure.
You know? Right.
But were we ever going to get a Guy Gardner character in a movie ever? Like, I would just be like,
we had one cast for the show at one point. I don't know if you remember.
Sure, but like the fact that we have any of these characters or any of the characters from Peacemaker or Suicide Squad,
sure,
I'm just like, I don't like, not that I'm like, give me whatever, I'll take it, but like, it's pretty amazing.
No, and I guess for me, I'm not like a super big Guy Gardner fan. I like Green Lantern a lot.
Sure.
But like, I'm totally okay with Nathan Fillion playing him. I think that's going to be a super fun role. Probably won't be taken super seriously, but
yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. Also, Hawkgirl.
I don't know much about Hawkgirl, actually.
So Hawkgirl, she is from the planet Thanagar.
Okay.
So she is an alien alongside Hawkman, and they kind of are always
like a duo.
And if memory serves me right, they usually get resurrected, and they always kind of end up being like finding each other. She also has like that mace that she has is from a material called Nth metal, which I don't know if they'll ever do it. Right. But Dark Knight's metal is an incredible comic book run. And if they ever got to the point of just the fact that they are, if they acknowledge that it's Nth metal and they ever do that, that would be fucking amazing. But I guess she was Dora, years ago in that Dora the Lost. Right. She was also in The Last Night, that Transformers movie that is god awful. But I think Hawkgirl, awesome. That's amazing. Mr. Terrific. He's like a genius who develops these T-spheres.
Yeah, I know he throws like the T's off of his face.
Oh, does he?
I think so. At least that's what I've seen at some point.
The guy that's playing him, he's in the 3rd season of For All Mankind.
Okay.
He's great.
You've seen it?
I love For All Mankind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So great
I don't think
cast.
I've heard you talk about it.
I've definitety talked to you about For All Mankind. Okay. Probably before the podcast.
Right.
But so good.
Nice.
And then Anthony Kerrigan, who's going to be Metamorpho. I guess ends up in the Justice League a lot, but he's also a founding member of a team called the Outsiders.
Doesn't he look like a villain though? like that character.
He does.
Yeah, he's got a creepy looking.
He could.
Design.
I think some people were saying he could, but I think Anthony Kerrigan, because of what he's talked about with his alopecia, he typically, like, the bald guy gets the villain role, and I think he's very interested in challenging some of that. Even though he's a villain in Barry,
right?
He's a very likable, sympathetic villain.
Okay,
and sometimes
so
not
a traditional villain. Yeah.
No, so he could be, but I guess his powers is the ability to change to any element. And that he was also saying he's excited to play someone who's like unrecognizable.
Right.
But I think what's really interesting about these picks is we already knew. I know I'm interested in what you're going to say, because I know you were like, I want Superman to be like the first superhero.
Sure.
But this is James Gunn and was saying a while ago, but it's even more confirmed now. This is a world that already has established characters,
right.
superheroes. And it's not just Earthbound. We literally have an alien from another planet in Hawkgirl. We have Guy Gardner,
which is the confirmation of like thousands of aliens and thousands of planets because of the Green Lantern Corps.
Exactly.
Right.
We might still get the Authority. I saw somebody was saying that maybe that was
like a false report, and that maybe these characters are like replacing that.
But I don't think that these characters by any means are going to be like villainous. I think
no, I don't think so either.
More maybe going to be like they want to deal with stuff their way, because I could see Guy Gardner being a bit like, we need to like be rough with these like villains or do something that's like, and then Superman shows up and he's like, no, we need to do it in a better, more Boy Scouty sort of way.
Right. I guess what's interesting for me is like, I don't know if you saw that quote from James Gunn, but he was basically like how could I show, Clark, with his friends at, like Jimmy and Lois at the Daily Planet, without showing the other half of his life, with those superheroes as well.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so does that mean, like, to me, I guess I read it as like, oh, those superheroes are like already his friends, maybe, like maybe he's Superman, like already for a couple of years, and he's already developed maybe a team. Maybe he's not a part of a team, probably not, but I could imagine him working with a team from time to time, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if those 3 characters form like a JLA type team,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you think, I don't think this at all. I know apparently there's been other people who are saying there's too many characters in a Superman movie. I don't think so. I think that these characters are going to be, just because they have superpowers and they're
right. It's not like they have to be co-stars. I
don't think
they can be in the movie for like 5-10 minutes, and that would be fine.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna overshadow Superman.
Right.
I just think the fact that we have such an established universe from
really
the
exciting.
jump is really, it's really exciting. The fact that we're getting these particular characters is kind of crazy. Just like, oh yeah, hey Superman.
Yeah, just from like all corners of the universe. Right.
Here's my, I don't know.
That's super interesting too, that like that's the first Green Lantern we're seeing is Guy Gardner. I don't even think we really like touched on that. But
I think it'll be like a good introduction, like, hey, not to overshadow things by having like a Hal Jordan or a Jon Stewart show up. We have like a Guy Gardner that's not...
It's not a main Green Lantern usually.
And it's like, oh, there is Green Lanterns, and oh, this one's kind of a dick. I can't wait to see
the good one.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like that vibe. Yeah.
And I would not be surprised by the time we finish this podcast or by the end of the week, we'll get Lex announced. So, because they've just been dropping them.
Yeah. I am kind of, not that he's like my first choice or anything, but I'm kind of holding out hope for Nicholas Hoult. Hope he gets a role in this universe,
Sure.
He's tried 2 times already.
Sure.
I just want it for him.
Yeah. But yeah, these character, these casting announcements are...
No, they're very exciting. And not that I know all the actors.
I'm so hyped now.
But they all look good. Like I'm happy in their roles.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, very exciting.
I hope Hawkgirl gets to be a part of like the JLA.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So cool.